God's advice today. God is sending many signs, but it seems like you are ignoring all of them. So please do not ignore this video, as it is a message from God's heart to bless your life today. Before we continue, please leave your like so that more people can be reached by this message, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive more videos like this. Don't ignore this video and stay until the end. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and the second best manifestation offer in the world. God said, "My dear son, let's talk today about something we all face at some point in our lives, difficulties. Who here has never gone through a tough time, be it a loss, a disappointment, or a challenge that seems insurmountable? These moments test our faith and our courage, but I want you to know, from the bottom of my heart, that there is a light that shines even in the darkest hours. That light is hope. Let's imagine together a night without stars, a total darkness where everything seems lost. Now, imagine a small flame beginning to shine in the distance. It's fragile, but steady. That flame, my friends, is the hope that resides within each of us. Even when everything around us seems to crumble, that small flame can guide us, can warm us, and can give us the strength to carry on. Hope is more than just a wish for things to get better. It's a deep trust that, despite adversities, we have the ability to overcome obstacles and find a better way. It gives us the resilience to face challenges and the courage to not give up. Always remember that hope is not an illusion but a real force that propels us forward. It's the certainty that, even in the toughest times, there is something good waiting for us in the future. Keep that flame alive in your hearts and never stop believing in better days. Together, we can weather any storm and emerge stronger and more united. There's a greater purpose in our lives. It's believing that no matter how hard the road, there's a destination of peace and happiness waiting for us. And that belief, that faith, is what keeps us standing. Let's remember the story of Joseph from the Old Testament. Sold as a slave by his own brothers, he could have given up, could have lost all faith, but he kept hope alive in his heart. He spent years in prison, was tested in every possible way, but never stopped believing that God had a plan for him. And in the end, Joseph was elevated to a position of great honor, saving many lives in the process. Like Joseph, we all have the power to keep this flame of hope alive. When we face problems at work, financial difficulties, health issues, or family conflicts, we can choose to focus on the pain or on the promise of a new tomorrow. The choice is ours, and when we choose hope, we're not just passively waiting for a miracle. We're preparing, strengthening ourselves, and becoming receptive to the blessings that are to come. Hope also connects us with others. When we share our faith and our trust in the future, we inspire those around us. We're beacons of light for each other, illuminating the way and offering support. Our words and actions can be the fuel someone needs to reignite their own flame of hope. If you believe in this, type "I believe." Father, in times of crisis, when everything around us seems to crumble, it's faith that sustains us, that gives us strength and guides us through the darkest path. Let's reflect on a situation we've all experienced in some way. Imagine yourself in the middle of a storm, with strong winds and lightning cutting through the sky. You're alone, without shelter, feeling the fury of nature. Despair begins to take over, and you wonder how you'll survive. It's in this moment, when all seems lost, that faith becomes a beacon, an anchor that keeps us steady. Faith is like the deep root of an ancient tree. Even if the strongest winds try to knock it down, the tree remains standing because its roots are firm. So it is with our lives. When we have faith, we're deeply rooted in something greater than ourselves. We're connected to a divine force that protects and guides us. Think of the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Thrown in there for his faithfulness to God, Daniel could have succumbed to fear and hopelessness, but he didn't waver. His faith was so great that he knew God was with him, even in the midst of hungry lions. And miraculously, Daniel emerged unharmed, a living proof that faith can move mountains. When we face crises in our lives, whether it's a serious illness, the loss of a loved one, or financial difficulties, faith is what gives us the courage to move forward. It allows us to see beyond the storm, to glimpse the sun that will eventually shine again. Faith reminds us that we're not alone and that there's a greater purpose in everything we experience. Furthermore, faith brings us inner peace amidst chaos. When our emotions are running high and anxiety seems to consume us, faith brings an inexplicable calm. It's the certainty that, despite the circumstances, everything will be all right. It's an unwavering trust that we're being guided by a loving and powerful hand. Faith also connects us to each other. In times of crisis, we often find strength in community, family, and friends who share the same faith. Praying together, sharing our concerns, and supporting each other strengthens our faith and creates an unbreakable bond of love and hope. Faith is not just believing in better days, it is an active force that propels us to act, seek solutions, and persevere. It is a daily commitment to trust, surrender, and stand firm, regardless of adversities. When life presents you with crises, cling to your faith. Let it be your shield and your sword. Allow it to show you the way and give you the strength to carry on. In the end, faith is what makes us invincible, enables us to overcome any storm, and emerge stronger and wiser. Keep the faith and continue to pray, for God is always near, ready to hear and abundantly bless us. With faith in God, we find true happiness, even in the midst of intense and seemingly endless battles of life. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, God assures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I know the weight of worries can make us feel overwhelmed and desperate, but I am here to remind you of the importance of not losing hope. God is always by our side, knowing every tear, every sigh of anguish. Just as He sustains the stars in the sky and keeps the sun shining with each dawn, He will sustain us through any storm. Just as the story of Job teaches us about perseverance and divine reward, our faith will guide us to redemption and victory. So, keep the hope alive in your hearts, believe in God's promises, and trust in His unconditional love, for He is working all things for the good of those who love Him. Remember that praising in the midst of adversity can bring immediate and miraculous deliverance. These testimonies are just a fraction of the miracles God performs every day. Each of you is precious in His eyes, and He longs to show you His power and love in unique and personal ways. When you face dangers, difficulties, or trials, remember that He is the God of great deliverances. He protects, guides, and sets free, for His love for you is eternal and immeasurable. Stand firm in faith, trust in His promises, and know that He is always by your side. The great deliverances you have read and heard about are living testimonies of what He will do for each of you. Just believe, call upon Him, and He will answer with power and glory, bringing deliverance and victory into your lives. He blesses you with courage, faith, and renewed hope. May these testimonies strengthen your hearts and give you the certainty that, with His love, you can overcome all adversities. I am guided by faith in God. I know that many of you face challenges and trials, and it is in this context that I wish to emphasize the importance of human connections, which He Himself established in your lives. When He created man, He said, "It is not good for man to be alone." So, He made for each of you a network of love and support composed of family and friends. These relationships are divine gifts designed to strengthen, encourage, and support you in times of need. They are reflections of His love manifesting in tangible ways through the people around you. Therefore, do not underestimate the power of these connections. In times of tribulation, seek comfort in the company of those who love you. Allow the love and solidarity of others to strengthen your spirits and renew your hopes. For just as He guides and protects you, He has also placed people in your lives to be instruments of His love and care. Trust in Him, trust in others, and together you will find the strength to face any challenge. With love, God. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If you liked it, please write Amen and share this message with someone who also needs to hear it. I invite you to click on the first comment where you will find a special prayer and the second best manifestation offer in the world. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.